Alright, I'm here with an updated look at my PS4 collection for the year 2018. I do these every year for the modern consoles, and then I kind of phase older consoles out. I'm not going to do a Wii U collection this year or a Vita collection, but I'm still going to be doing this PS4 one. PS4 is my primary system. I have I have Xbox, I have Switch, and PS4. PS4 is my primary system, though, so I got a lot of games for it. I play it probably the most of all my systems currently, and I really like it. I think there's a lot of great stuff on it. Really, the exclusives this generation are absolutely killer. Some really great stuff. And since I'm more of a Japanese gaming fan, there's a lot of stuff that speaks to me that isn't on the Xbox. So let's just jump right in here. First game, Batman Arkham Knight. I really like Arkham Asylum. I think that's a really, really great game. And I think they kind of, lost it after that once they decided to go open world. But I think Arkham Knight's still a pretty solid game. I never finished it because I got this weird game-breaking bug. Because at the end of the game, if I remember right, they blue ball you and they make you go finish all these side quests. And one of the side quests for me wouldn't spawn. I think I had to find the serial killers, dead bodies or something hidden around. And one of them, I checked guides, I checked the location, it wouldn't spawn, so I couldn't beat it. I'm sure they've patched it at this point, but I just never cared to go back. But a bummer, but I still had a fun time with it. Batman the Telltale series. There's no reason to buy these physical ones. I just got it because it was cheap on sale. This was the first Telltale game I played. R.I.P. Telltale, I guess. But it's just the first episode, and then you get the season pass with it. So it's kind of pointless to buy. For the season 2, I just downloaded it. I just bought the season pass and got it download. But yeah, I don't know. I like this first season a lot. I'd highly recommend the first season. I think it was free on PS Plus a while back. But the second season was not as good. And plus, the second season, the first episode came out in August. And then the last episode came out, I think, in April. And there was a 3-month gap between 1 and 2. So it was kind of hard to keep my interest and remind me, oh, that's what happened, I think. Where the first one, I played the first 3 episodes all at once. And then the other 2 came out pretty close after when I was done with it. So I don't know. I'd probably just prefer. I know Telltale's dead now, but I would just prefer everything come out at once, not these episodic games. But I think the episodic games are starting to go away. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I got this for I think $6 on the infamous Prime Day glitch back in 2017. This had just come out, and on Prime Day they kept stacking on discounts for some reason. I got this, no joke, for $6 the week after it came out. And I really liked it. I was never huge on Crash Bandicoot on PS1, but playing them here, I played through 1 and 2. I didn't finish 3, but I really like 3 still. 1 is just a pain. It's kind of a pain, but there's some good elements. But 2 and 3 are really solid platformers. I think get too much hate because the first one, most people have only played the first one, and it it kind of sucks. But oh well. Destiny, not really my thing. It came with my PS4. I have the white one that came out with the Destiny, so it came with it. Not really my thing. I'm not really into the digital, I guess, virtual Skinner box type game. Not really into online gaming either, so. Devil May Cry HD collection. This is a pretty decent collection. It's kind of weird though, because the cutscenes are in the original resolution, and then the gameplay is upscale, which makes sense, but it's kind of jarring because the cutscenes look some of them, but not all of them. It's the ones that are in-engine are upgraded, if I remember right. It's been a little while since I was messing around with this. So it looks a little jarring, but it's a fine up-res. If you don't want to find out that Devil May Cry 1 has not aged very well, maybe you don't want to play this, because it has not aged very well. 2 was always bad, but I haven't played 3 proper, so I'll have to give it a go. I bought that after DMC 5 was announced, because I wanted to play through the series the best way I could. Dragon Quest Builders. I really like Dragon Quest Builders. Looking forward to the sequel. I think it's coming out on Switch. I think a handheld version would be a perfect match for this game. I know this was on Vita, but it was only digital, and I don't have enough room on my Vita memory card. And I'm not, selling an organ to buy a second beater memory card. So, but I really liked it. I'd recommend it. It's fun. I'm looking forward to that sequel, like I said. Dragon Quest Heroes, it's a Muso. It's a Dragon Quest Muso. If you don't like Dragon Quest and you don't like Musos, not for you. But if you like either or, I think you'll have a good time. Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. I don't know. I can't get into Final Fantasy XII. I've tried on PS2. I've tried it out on PS4. Can't get into it, and I don't know why. Because I actually like Final Fantasy X. I like 15, so I'm not, adverse to the later, more recent Final Fantasies, although, I guess none of these are, 10 and 15 are not, or 10 and 12 are not very recent anymore. So I'm not adverse to them, but I just can't get into 12 for some reason. Final Fantasy 15, like I said, I really liked Final Fantasy 15. It's a deeply, deeply flawed game, a lot of problems. I played it like a ton. Like when it first came out for like that first month, I just played it and played it and played it. Did a ton of post-game stuff. I beat the game, did a ton of post-game stuff. But I never touched it after that. So I know there's a ton of updates. I think they changed the ending. There's a ton of updates. There's the DLCs that I want to jump into eventually, but I don't know when. But yeah, I think it's a good game. I don't know how, time's going to make that one fair. I don't know if in, 10 years, 15 years, we're going to be saying, oh man, Final Fantasy 15. But Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, I couldn't get into it personally. Got it at like a Black Friday deal for cheap, but I personally couldn't get into it. God of War, the new one. I never played any of the old God of War games. Never really interested me. Looked kind of dumb, but I was hearing a lot of praise about this one, so I picked it up. I didn't finish it because it came out like right at the time I was leaving it for my trip to Japan. It came out right around when we were trying to move. So I would get, play it every once in a while, and then it just kind of got put on the back burner. But I liked what I played. It's kind of like Last of Us, which I know some people won't like that. But, the combat's fun. And the combat's not like brainless. Like you can't just button mash. You're going to get, you're going to get beat. You're going to get a big old beat down. So you can't button mash, which I appreciate. It's a little bit more thoughtful in its combat, and looks great. It's fun to explore. It's a solid game. I'd like to get back into it. Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5. I don't know how I feel about Kingdom Hearts. It's a good package. I have the 2.8 package too. These are both good packages. It's cool. You can have all of them on the PS4 now. You can't, play the DS ones, but who cares? But I don't know. I don't think Kingdom Hearts 1 is an especially very good game. And Kingdom Hearts 2, that game takes forever to go anywhere. Man, but Kingdom Hearts 2 is pretty decent. I'm looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 3, but at the moment, I don't know. Kingdom Hearts is kind of a mixed bag for me. We got two of the greatest games of all time coming up here. Knack and, of course, Knack 2. Two of the greatest, finest masterpieces. In all actuality, Knack and Knack 2, they're not bad. They're like the definition of like a 6 out of 10. Or they're not bad, but they're also, there's nothing at all interesting about them, I guess, is my problem there. So, I don't know. I think even if you want a co-op game that you kind of just do mindless things, you're better off just picking up a Lego game. But, and I had a game-breaking bug in Knack 2 where my friend and I played it, like tried to play through the whole thing, ironically, and like chapter 12 out of 15, we beat an enemy, but the gate would not open so that we could, go through after we beat him, so we could never move on. So that's my experience with Knack 2. The Last of Us Remastered, I don't know. Last of Us is a good game. It's a very, very well-made game. I don't know. The gameplay itself is extraordinarily dull. I think the world's pretty cool in the way it's presented. And, I really like to just sit down in that game and explore. But, I don't know. The shooting doesn't feel great. The AI is not so hot. There's some good moments in it, though. There's some cool moments when you're trying to sneak around and stuff. But I think it's a great game. So I'm not going to say it's bad by any means. I just think, I don't know. I don't like the term overrated, but I think it doesn't get, enough criticism for the places it goes wrong, I guess. It is wrong. which I'm not saying that it's, a failure by any means, though, by saying that. So, a bunch of stupid Lego games. I like to get the Platinums. I don't know. They're all really cheap if you have kids or if you just like them yourself. I like them myself, so I'm not going to judge, obviously. They're fun games. They're fun co-op games. They're fun to just mess around. I like to throw on podcasts and then just try to grind out that platinum. So, I don't know. It's kind of like a guilty pleasure, I guess. But they're not bad. I mean, they're good games. I mean, they're fine-made games. They're all very similar, though. So, I mean, just, I don't know, pick which brand you like the best. Marvel or Star Wars or DC, and you got a fun time. Life is Strange, which I like the first Life is Strange, and it took some time for that to happen. I played the first, 2 or 3 chapters, and I was like, I don't know. And then I just, kind of just put it away, and I was like, I don't know if I'll go back to that. And then, 2 weeks later, I was like, I kind of want to go back to that. And it just, after I went back into it and really enjoyed it. So it kind of had to grow on me, but I really came to appreciate it. I think it's a really good game. Before the Storm as well, I have that. GameStop, I don't know if I put this in my pickup video. GameStop had this for $10, and I had a $5 certificate there, so I got it for $5. And I also got that game digitally when it first came out. I think it was another Amazon glitch around Black Friday, I think, where I got it for $6. But Before the Storm's a lot better than it really had any right to be. It has a different cast because of that voice actor strike that happened a few years ago. It takes place around a character I'm not really fond about, but it really turned out to be pretty decent and tell a pretty interesting story, I suppose. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. I actually did not really care for Ground Zeroes that much. When I first played it, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like Phantom Pain, because I didn't really I found Ground Zeroes more kind of annoying, just where it took place and everything. And I just found the way it was released really annoying, where we have to pay, I think it was $40, $30, I don't remember, to get, the prologue to the actual game. I mean, it'd be like paying, $40 to get the tanker part on Metal Gear Solid 2. It was kind of stupid, but I don't know. I really liked Phantom Pain, though. I never beat it because I just don't care about the story. But what I played of it, I played a lot of it. I was mostly just messing around and having fun. It's great. I mean, it's mechanically one of the best games out there. The presentation's great. Attention to detail's great. It's everything, a Kojima game is known for, I guess. And I really appreciate, because I wasn't a fan of Metal Gear Solid 4, the cutscenes aren't obnoxiously long. Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor. I don't really have much affinity to Lord of the Rings. I've seen the movies years ago, and just, I don't know, never cared. But this is a pretty cool game. I really like that Nemesis system. Surprised more games never ended up trying to, swipe that idea. But, I mean, it would be cool to see that in a Batman game, or really anything, I guess. But, yeah, I mean, it's a fun game. They did a sequel. I don't really care to play it. But the first one's pretty solid, I gotta admit. Monster Hunter World here. I've tried with Monster Hunter 3 times to get into it. With, 3 Ultimate, I think I tried. I tried Generations, and I tried this. And I just can't do it. I don't really want to put the time in it takes to become, quote-unquote good at Monster Hunter. It's a big time sink. It's really deep, and I just don't really care enough. I have some friends that are really into it. I've tried getting into it, playing with them. I can't do it. But, I mean, World is probably, for what I played, the most fun, the most engaging. I mean, I still played 20 hours of World. The most fun, the most engaging, the most accessible of the series. So I wouldn't let that turn you away. Especially if you want a solid games as a service game. You got a good title there, but I don't know, it's not really for me. Moving on here, we have Nier Automata. This is a reversible art. This is really cool art. I really like what I played of it. I never finished it because it came out at the weirdest time. It came out 2 days after Zelda, so I spent all of March playing Zelda, and then Persona 5 came out right after that, and I played all of April playing Persona 5, and I just never got really back to playing this. But what I played of it was awesome. I'd love to go back at some point and keep going because I'm a huge Platinum Games fan, and I mean, that's, top tier Platinum Games. Okami HD. It's another release of Okami. One of the great game that has only, recently found, the adoration it deserves. More mainstream, but yeah, good game. I've never finished it. I want to jump in at some point and play through the whole thing. But what I played is awesome. So, Persona 5, best game on the PS4 in my opinion, hands down. One of my probably all-time favorite RPG, and just one of the best games I've ever played. It's just a great game all around. Presentation is awesome. Story's pretty interesting. Characters are great. It's a great game. I mean, I've said enough about it. Really incredible game. Atlus, I think Atlus at this point is the king of, the JRPG. They put out some great stuff, and I think, that was worth the wait. I know winter 2014, the original release date, didn't come out here for another 3 years, but it's well worth the wait. Incredible game. Ratchet and Clank. You can get this really cheap now. It's just a remake of the first one, but it's a really well-made remake. Graphics were great. Good fun all around. I mean, can't go wrong. Resident Evil 7. Good return to form for Resident Evil. I gotta say, I usually don't get scared by horror games. Like, I really like Silent Hill 2, but I wouldn't. It's more unnerving, I guess, the environments, but I don't find it really scary. But yeah, I don't know, something about this. Maybe that it's in first person. I was like, man, this is kind of creepy. I would not want to play that in VR, that's for sure. But I'm sure it would be a good experience. Resident Evil Revelations 2, it's still sealed. I got it for cheap. There's some of these games every year. I do my PS4 video where it's like, another year's passed. I still have not played this. It's still sealed. I don't know if I ever really will, I guess. I liked Resident Evil Revelations 1 when I played it on the 3DS, but I'm not sure if that's because it was a novelty to have a game, that well polished and well made on the 3DS. A third-person shooter like that. That was like a console quality game, but that was also 2012. So now we have the Switch, and I don't even know. I don't know if I actually liked that game or just liked how neat it was. But maybe one day. But I don't. If I want to get a Resident Evil fix, there's about 5 other games I'd rather play. Rock Band 4. I got this so cheap with the guitar and everything. I liked Rock Band a lot on the 7th gen, I think it is. I can never remember. 360, PS3, Wii era. I played them all on Wii, surprisingly. And I played the heck out of Guitar Hero and Rock Band. I always liked Rock Band better. I always thought their set lists were a little better. And I thought it was just a better game overall, better made game. But yeah, I really liked Rock Band. And Rock Band 4, it seemed kind of like a half attempt. And what it really was is like, hey, you want to get back into this and buy some more DLC, which I did. I bought, I think, maybe $30 worth of DLC, which I bought the game cheap, so I figured why not. Because their overall set list is pretty weak. You can tell that they didn't spend much money licensing out songs. Because it was not very many songs, a lot less than Rock Band 3, if I recall right. And, you got some Rush, but it's, you're not getting one of the, best Big Rush songs. You're getting, I forget which one's on there. It's a good song, though. I'm a big Rush fan. But, I don't know. And it obviously didn't do very well. But it's Rock Band. It's fun. Secret of Mana. This is still sealed. I got this over the summer. I've heard just stick to the original with this, with Secret of Mana, which I have it on Super Nintendo and the Super Nintendo Classic. So if I want to play it, I've never played Secret of Mana. If I want to play it, I will just play it on that probably. But I mean, who could resist this art? This is a great art. This was also GameStop exclusive for some reason. You could only get the physical copy at GameStop, which is a little weird. But went on sale one day. I just figured I'd pick it up. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I really liked the PS3 or the first 2013 Tomb Raider. I liked Rise of the Tomb Raider when I played it on Xbox One. This feels, I played a little bit of it. I want to get back to it when I have some more time, probably over Christmas break. And it feels like more of that. It's a different developer, but I mean, it's still a good, solid game. Seems like it could maybe be better with all the mechanics they're adding in, but looking forward to jumping back into that one more. The Shenmue 1 and 2 HD. Uh, Shenmue is an interesting case because it's such an impressive game for its time. If you look at the other games from around that era, I mean, it blows them out of the water graphics wise and all that. Um, and it's just a really interesting game, and you can really trace a lot of modern gaming. You can trace its roots to Shenmue. It's really a revolutionary game, but it does have one fatal problem, and that is that it is extremely boring to play. Um, just some weird designs with how you do time management and that stuff. It could get really boring to play. But I still like Shenmue. I still enjoy it. But it's not for everyone, that's for sure. And it is. It's definitely a hard sell because it's not the most entertaining game. I liked how this one had the ability to do Japanese, um, you know, language for the speaking. Because the Japanese voice acting is what I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Because the English voice acting is so bad and the quality of it is so horrible. So, I mean, Japanese voice acting still doesn't sound great by any means, but, I mean, less noticeable how bad it is. Another one of those games of this is still sealed years later. Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. I got this for like $5, I think, on Square Enix's Black Friday sale, and I heard good things. Just never got around to it. Spider-Man by Insomniac. Probably my favorite game of 2018. Had a ton of fun with this one. It's such a fun. I think what's important is that it's just. I'm kind of hit or miss with open world games because I feel like a lot of them, especially like if you look at that 2014 era. I'm thinking like Watch Dogs and that era of Assassin's Creed. You look at those and you're just kind of playing a GPS. Where it's like, oh, follow this marker and then you get to the next place. You're walking there, driving a car there. But I don't know. You got to really hook me in some way with what you can do in that world and how you traverse that world to really get me interested. And I think Spider-Man really did that because it's just really fun to swing around and move around there. I've never used the fast travel except to get the trophy for using fast travel. But other than that, I mean, it's just a blast to play. The story was surprisingly interesting. A pretty good overall comic book story. I'd say probably better than any of the movies ever did. Which maybe is not hard to say, but overall, I got to say I was impressed. I really, really liked it a lot. I think Insomniac is one of the most talented developers out there, so I'm excited to see them keep going. And I think this is like another level for them. I mean, you look at Ratchet and Clank and Sunset Overdrive, still great games, but I think they really kind of ascended to like a higher level after that. Star Ocean, whatever it's called. I got this for so cheap on Black Friday and never played it because I didn't hear great things, but I want to have all the Star Ocean games, so I even got to have that one. Star Wars Battlefront. I liked the first Battlefront. It was so just empty, like lack of content. And they wanted you to buy that $60 season pass I was never going to buy. So that was a little disappointing. But I liked what I played, but I ran out of stuff to do. And I got Battlefront 2. My friend bought a PS4. It came with Battlefront 2, this copy. And I just told him I'd buy it off of him for what the GameStop trade credit would have been. So we looked on the app. It was like $12 or something. So I bought it off him for $12. There's a huge controversy around it, obviously, but I mean, it was graphically good. The gameplay's fun, I guess. I never tried that story mode because I heard it was awful, which was a shame because I was actually looking forward to trying that story mode out. But EA is going to be EA, I guess. Tales of Zestiria. I don't know. I kind of got that like Tales burnout, and this one I played it and didn't really spark anything for me. I think a lot of people felt the same way. So I never ended up playing Berseria. I think was the one after that. But I heard that one was good, so maybe one day. Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. Really good set of games. You can get this on PSN or just even physically for like dirt cheap. I think it's on that PlayStation Hits for like $20, and it always goes on sale for like $8 on PSN. 3 pretty good games. The first one's not aged particularly well. But 2 and 3 are great games. Especially, I like 3 the best of all of that PS3 game trilogy. I know that's not the popular opinion. Usually people say 2, but that's a great little package there. You got some great games. Uncharted 4 as well, really great game. I really enjoyed it. I think that Uncharted and Last of Us, especially Uncharted 4, is a lot similar to Last of Us, but I just think that the setting and the set pieces are a lot more interesting to me personally. I think that's why I like it better. But it's another game you can get for pretty cheap now, and it's pretty solid. Uncharted Lost Legacy. I never finished this one. I don't know. It felt like it was just more Uncharted 4, which I wasn't, I guess, asking for at the time. It was just kind of more Uncharted 4, but without the fun characters, with these boring characters that, who cares? Until Dawn. I got this, again, super cheap. Never opened it, but I have it on PS Plus now, so if I ever want to play it, which I know a lot of people in the comments say, play this game, and I plan on it at some point, because I hear it's great. But I would just play it on PS Plus, so the download I have. So don't really need to open that physical copy. I guess that's going to just stay sealed. Got some Yakuza games here. Yakuza 0, which I had a blast with Yakuza 0. The first one, a Yakuza game I played was 3, and then 4. I played those ones. And then that was a few months before Yakuza 0 came out. And I was like, oh, heck yeah, more Yakuza. And then it kind of just exploded. Like, the series really exploded out of nowhere, which was really cool to see. I'm glad a lot of people now in the West are playing it, and the series seems to be doing well. I think my favorite one still on the PS4 is still 0. Just because, I don't know, there's something about it. It's just real fun. It's real great. You can get it on PlayStation Hits. I think it's PlayStation Hits. Their new greatest hits line for $20. You can get that, as well as this one's actually free this month. So whether or not you ever want to try it, pick it up anyway, just in case you might want to ever play it. Yakuza Kiwami, which it's really great that this is free because it's actually a remake of the first original PS2 Yakuza game. And it's probably one of the best remakes I've ever played. It is an incredibly well-made remake. First Yakuza has some real bad problems on the PS2. We got this absolutely bizarre localization of it. And with, I don't even know. I mean, like, it's just really weird. Mark Hamill's in it for some reason. But, I mean, all the other voice acting's terrible. The localization's really bad. And it tries to be like a GTA ripoff. It's awful. But this is a great remake. It's in, Japanese voice acting like the other ones are. And, I mean, it was like $30 when it came out. And now it's even $20. And it's a full-on Yakuza game. I wouldn't, don't let that smaller price tag, fool you. It's a full-on Yakuza game. And it's really enjoyable. I mean, I clocked in, I think, close to 40 hours on it. And had a blast. And yeah, free on PS Plus right now. So go nab that. Even if you don't plan on, I mean, I always nab the PS Plus games no matter what. Because even if you don't plan on playing it right away, I mean, it's just great to have in your library someday when you want to. Yakuza Kiwami 2, it's a remake of the PS2 Yakuza 2. I have not played this one yet, because I just finished Yakuza 6 not too long ago. I just finished that not too long ago, so I wasn't quite in the mood. But I think that mood's starting to get there, so I'll probably pop that one in soon. Looking forward to play it, because I've heard that one's actually the best of the PS4 games. Because I hear everyone says 2 is the best, and I never played 2. That's the only one I haven't played. I haven't played 5 either, I guess. Like much of it. I never finished it. But it's looking forward to try that one out. Yakuza 6 here. This is, I don't know, a big step up. They changed their engine. They have their own proprietary engine now called the Dragon Engine. So less loading times. They have kind of a new way of leveling up and everything, which I really like. And I don't know, I had a blast with this one. I have like 90% of the trophies. Like to go back and beat the game again and get the platinum. And I had a blast with this one. Another great game. I mean, you gotta play this series. A lot of people say it's like GTA. It's not. I mean, it's really not at all. It's really its own thing. And it's another one of those open world games that really speaks to me just because, I don't know, there seems like there's always something to do. There's a great loop of, do I want to continue the story here? Do I want to go grind out, this requirement? Do I want to go and do this mini game? Do I want to go and do the sub story here. There's so much to do without being too overwhelming and being like it's stupid. So really enjoy it. This is Yakuza Ishin, which was a game that only came out in Japan. Probably no chance of localizing it because it relies heavily around Japanese history, which I don't think really speaks to a lot of North Americans. But I picked this up on my trip to Japan at a book off, and one thing interesting is it has a big, thick manual in here. Like, this is a pretty thick manual. I don't have any other PS4 games that have a manual in it, so that is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to have it for the collection because I'm such a big fan of the series. I forgot this one here because it's in a steelbook, so I have it off to the side. Valkyria Chronicles on PS4. This is just basically it's a PS3 game. It's not really remastered. It says remastered, but I don't really notice it being too different from its PS3 counterpart. But I gotta say, great game. One of Sega's all-time best. Played it on PS3. I played a little bit of this PS4 one just to kind of get in the mood before 4 came out, and I gotta say, still a great game. And then finally, after over 30 minutes, we got to Ukulele here, which I have not played this post-patch. There was a big patch that fixed a lot of the problems, which is cool because, it shows that the developers are, listening to the fans and listening to the community and seeing like, okay, how can we change the game to best suit the fans? But what I saw from it here was a decent game. It's certainly not bad. But a game that could have been way better, because it takes a lot of that stuff from the games of the era, the N64 era. It takes a lot of that stuff, but it's not stuff that it necessarily needed to take from that era. This stuff that was maybe better left behind. Some of the stuff you have to do is kind of tedious. There's some weird control issues sometimes. But I would say if you like the old Banjo games, the old Rareware games, and you haven't given this a shot, I would do it because the presentation really knocks it out of the park, and it really does feel like a modern, iteration of those games in a way. So I'd recommend it. I want to go back and maybe try to grind out that platinum at some point. I think that would be fun. But that's my PS4 collection there. A long video. I'd like to thank you for watching. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Objo Gaming. Leave a comment with some of your favorite PS4 games. Some of the games that I should get that you didn't see in my collection. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you next time.